Hey all, this is the Estuary and my name's Chris. Thanks for joining me. This is a daily video project that I started just recently, and it's going to be unscripted. I pick a theme and I talk about it, try to keep it to 5 minutes, and we're just going to go from there and see how it goes. What I want to talk about today is the So Hum mantra and how you can use it in your meditative practice to align with the breath, help ground you, and help you connect with yourself deeply and with yourself as belonging to creation around you, the universe around you. I've used the Soham mantra in my meditation practice for probably close to 3 years now, and it's incredibly powerful. I don't use it every time, but when I do, it very often helps center me and get me closer to the place of stillness that I'm looking for. Soham is Sanskrit. It means I am that. The so means I am, and the hum means that. And it's supposed to, mimic the way breathing goes, right? So is the inhale. Hum is the exhale. Hum. Of course, in your meditation practice, you likely aren't inhaling and exhaling with that much vigor, but I'm just sort of, showing you an example by way of exaggeration. I think this is just a really powerful tool as a mantra, as sort of a repetitive mind exercise that you can anchor yourself in. So much with meditation is returning back to a place of stillness when you find that your mind is going to those difficult places, right? Something you're angry about, something you're scared of. And with the pandemic right now, I know all of us who meditate as a way to ground ourselves are having to constantly be finding those, those, you might call them monsters or demons coming up in our minds. But even positive things, sometimes a really intense joy or exhilaration or feeling of anticipation will come up and occupy our brains and keep us from achieving the kind of stillness that we may be wanting to get in our meditative practice. So it's always about, locating non-judgmentally that emotion, processing it, labeling it, and then gently putting it aside, and then repeating ad nauseum every time that happens until we get to a place of stillness, which might not happen in a session. And how do we make that whole process easier? Usually through some kind of device, like our breathing. The breathing is typically inescapable because you're always going to be doing that no matter what else you're doing in your meditation. But sometimes really focusing on your breathing and the way in which it exits your nostrils, or visualizing like a clear blue, a force entering your lungs and your diaphragm and coming back out. Sometimes those devices can help us stay rooted. But also the so hum intonation is amazing at that. So in a typical session, as I'm breathing and focusing on how my breath is leaving my nostrils and entering them, and finding my breath becoming more and more relaxed. At the same time, when I'm inhaling in my mind, I'm saying, so, and then as I exhale, hum. And sometimes in my mind, I'm replacing it with I am that. Inhale, saying I am, again in my mind, I am that. The I am, the so, is rooting me in just myself. That's just here being right now. I'm nothing else but a being. Now, I'm not doing anything but just being and breathing. And the that is an affirmation of I'm also a part of creation. I'm also fundamentally entwined with everything around me. So sometimes while performing the Soham internally, I'm also thinking about what it means. And that brings me often a place of stillness and confidence and grounding in what I am and what I belong to. But yeah, try it in your meditation. It's really powerful. I've even experimented lately with adding, almost like in a musical way, with syncopation, how you might add another beat. I add I am that I am, and I might kind of reverse it. Or I might go, I am that, and when I'm not, I am. So let me walk through what that is. It's sort of a way of saying when I'm no longer here, when I'm dead and this vessel, this corporeal vessel is gone, I'm also going to be that. I'm also going to be inextricably part of everything around me. It's a way of daily encountering the specter that hangs over so many of us, which is death. It's a way of taking the teeth out of death and integrating it into my daily life as not something to run from, but a reality to not necessarily embrace. I'm not there yet, but just partner with and just know that is the story too. But even when that happens, I will be even more that, even more even more all. I will be reconstituted into everything. So that might go, so and when I'm not, I am. Or rather, when I'm not, I'm that. I am that. And when I'm not, I'm that. So I might be saying stuff like that in my mind. Again, all is a way to provide repetition, mantra, a way of grounding and stilling. I'm not somebody who believes in doing things the same way every time. I believe in generally sticking to a framework, but improvising as my needs arise. This is part of my principle of just being and creating is to have the structure, but also the structure must allow play and improvisation. So even in meditation, there's room for this. Whatever gets you to that place, lets you stay in that place, lets you feel deeply rooted in your being and deeply rooted in everything around you, is good. So with that, I leave you. This is the Estuary, and my name is Chris, and thank you for being with me. Be safe, be strong.